What's going on, my Alpha brother? Appreciate you coming through, man, to another episode of the Book of Alpha Running Me. Today, what I want to discuss with you fellas is how women don't seem to understand that in order for things to work the way they should work, they're going to have to submit to the guidance and leadership of an alpha male. You see, when a woman thinks of compromise, she thinks of everything being up for discussion, everything being up for some type of agreement to be made on it, when that is not how anything successful in this society works. When you look at a business, you have a chief financial officer and you have a chief executive officer. The reason why the chief executive officer is not also the chief financial officer, because the chief financial officer is more experienced in the financial aspect of the business. So even though there are chief officers, they're two different things, and it doesn't have to be 50-50. It simply means that there's a thing that needs to be done over here, and there's a thing that needs to be done over there. And since I do this thing better, I'm going to do this thing. But she wants you to compromise on everything. She wants you to compromise on even on the things that you do better than she does, even on the things that she has no experience in, even on the things that she does not have the intestinal fortitude to accomplish, even on the things that she does not wish to accomplish. She just wants to have you compromise on those things so she can say, I am an equal. But life is not about being equal. Yes and no are two answers to a question. If I ask you a question, there's only two reasonable and prudent answers you can give me, either yes or no. I don't know or I don't think so. Those aren't reasonable and prudent answers. But yes and no are total opposites. If I tell you yes, you will never think I mean no. If I tell you no, you should never think I mean yes. Yes and no mean two different things, although they work together in concert to deliver a response to a question. That is the same thing that she needs to understand in the aspects of a relationship. We're not going to compromise on the things that I do best. Why? It is a waste of time. We could be accomplishing other things while we're attempting to compromise on something that I do better. It's the same thing with parenting. I'm not going to attempt to love on my son the way his mother does. She's better equipped to do that. She's more emotional. She's an emotional being. What I'm better equipped to do is give him logical reasoning capacity, to teach him that logic and reason should govern his decision making. Once he gets to a certain age, that emotional connection is no longer needed. But knowing that, she would still want to compromise on that, and she wants to take part in the development of his manhood capacity, of his manhood characteristics, even though she doesn't have the slightest idea of what those characteristics are, nor what they should be. So I say this to say, never enter into a situation where you are somehow convinced by the woman you're entering that situation with that there should be some compromise made, that you are 50-50, that you are equal partners in a relationship. You see, this is what equal partners means. It means that we both bring equal parts of what is necessary to the equation. You can't say that if I'm responsible for the finances and you're responsible for the upkeep of the household, that those things are equal. No, those things are necessary. One of them is yours, one of them is mine, but they're not equal. Because the household can still run without the upkeep of the household. It may not be in the best condition, but it can still run. Without the finances, there is no household. So it's the same principle as you and I entering into a business together. We're going to enter into a landscape maintenance business. You have the lawnmowers. I have the skill to cut. Which is more important? You can figure out how to use a lawnmower. You could go on YouTube and spend 5 hours and figure out how to use any piece of equipment that you have. You can't go on YouTube and figure out how to come up with the money to buy all of this equipment that you're going to need to run this business. So whenever you're in a situation and you're the primary financial provider, never allow anyone, especially the woman you're in a relationship with, to convince you that her value is equal to the value of you bringing in the finances that the whole situation is built on. It is not. They say money is the root of all evil. I say that is a lie. The word does not say that. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. So if you don't love money, it is okay to have money and make it move the way you want it to move. Only you cannot let anyone convince you that their contribution to a situation is more significant than your financial contribution. Money makes the world go round. And yes, the word also says that money bringeth happiness. So anyone who says that money doesn't bring happiness has never had any significant amount of money. Because everyone I know who has money is a lot happier than the people I know who don't have money. Like this video on your way out if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. When you subscribe, click that notification bell. Make sure your notifications are on so you can be alerted to whenever I upload some more of this top-notch boss game. And as always, alphas up, betas down. Peace.